This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Squarespace. Go to squarespace.com/Destructoid for your free 14-day trial.
We got tits, murder, crying, and jazz. All this and more coming up on Destructoid.
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Tara Long.
No, you're not, Max. And that Twitter joke isn't funny anymore. Sometimes I really get confused.
For those of you who didn't see it, I changed my Twitter avatar to a picture of Tara in an attempt to get more followers, and it worked!
Yeah, well, I expect royalties for those followers, Max, okay? They're rightfully mine. Bang my fist so you know. I'm gonna smash your mug!
Why don't you start tweeting funny things and then see what happens?
I don't tweet very much, you're right. I need to tweet more. Getting into the news, the newest game in the Assassin's Creed franchise has finally been announced. It's going to be called Assassin's Creed Revelations, as we suspected based on some info that got leaked via the Assassin's Creed Facebook page a week ago. And it's going to be the fourth and final installment of the game. You return as Ezio, the main character from the previous two titles, but you'll be following in the footsteps of Altair, the guy from the first game. That means traveling to Constantinople, where a growing army of Templars threatens to destabilize the region. The game will be bringing back the multiplayer component of Ask Creed Bro, but is going to have new gameplay modes, maps, characters, and much, much more. So look for that later this year. It's slated for a November release on Xbox, PS3, and PC. Lots of cool things coming out in November of this year, right? We got that and Elder Scrolls. We'll have more news for you on Ask Creed Rev as it comes out, but if you want more, check out the June issue of Game Informer, because they got the exclusives.
Well, speaking of magazines that are actually printed on paper, remember how last episode I talked about how The Witcher 2 was all about boobies and sex and stuff like that? Well, this month's Polish issue of Playboy features a spread of The Witcher 2's Triss Marigold naked. And if you're not into like CGI women, call yourself a gamer. The Russian publisher of the game also has a real-life Ukrainian model named Klody Monsoon, and they got her to dress up like Triss and then undress like naked, no clothing. So you hop over to Destructoid, you can find links to the videos that we can't show on YouTube and which you shouldn't be watching unless you're 18. Tara, I love this job.
Me too. We get to talk about nudity a lot.
Like
on almost every show, it seems now. Video games, getting raunchy. Okay, so one of my most anticipated games of 2011, one that we coincidentally don't talk about much on the show just because there's not a whole lot of news about it, is the game From Dust. I know you guys have been dying to hear more about it because every time we do a live show and we ask you guys what you want us to talk about, somebody always spams the chat asking for more From Dust news. So if you're not familiar with the title, it's that new sandbox game that's being created by Eric Shahi, the guy who did Out of This World, which is an old, awesome game. You play as a godlike character and you have to control all of the natural elements in your world, like sand and lava and water, and you're on this small archipelago.
Archipelago.
Archipelago? I've always pronounced it archipelago, so
also,
fuck you guys.
It's Ezio, I think.
I hate you. Anyway, you have to protect the inhabitants of the island, and you're kind of playing the god role, you know. So we don't have much worthy news about the game, really, but the developers did release this Developer's Diary video showing off some of the art direction in the game. It talks about how the team drew inspiration from foreign islands, archipelagos, if you will, to create the world in the game, and they studied tribes from Africa and New Guinea to deepen their cultural understanding of the tribes people in the game. You be quiet now.
She's a Texan, sorry.
Shut up. Needless to say, the game looks fantastic, and I cannot wait for it. Look for it on PSN, XBLA, and Steam sometime this summer.
Well, that's great, Tara, if you're into like artsy French games about waterfalls and islands and dirt and stuff, but I don't think anyone wants to hear about that. Our viewers, they like manly games like Gears of War 3. In a recent interview, Gears producer Rod Ferguson made the audacious claim that he thinks the series has the best cast of characters in video games. He also called the infamous Maria scene from Gears 2 an intense emotional experience. Being involved in every voiceover situation for all three games and having to prepare for that scene and having to turn off the lights in the studio so he could get into it and actually have him cry in the studio. Okay, fuck it, I'm sorry. I try to play nice and accept that Gears is like a fun, stupid game about killing dudes. But That's how like everyone defends it, but come on, like it's a well-made game and the voice acting's pretty good, but it's not an intense emotional experience. You remember that time when Michael Bay talked about Transformers 2 as a complex narrative that deconstructed the nuances of human psyche in modern society? No? That's because he never said that. If you want to tell me that Gears 3 is an awesome game about giant dudes with chainsaw guns killing each other, that's fine. I'll accept that. If you want to say talented people worked on it, that's also fine. But do not tell me it's an intense emotional journey.
Wow, you're gonna upset a lot of followers with this.
Oh, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna fucking cry about it? Are they gonna turn the lights down and be upset? Are they gonna go on their very own intense emotional journey? I'm sorry, that's retarded. Look at them. It's about a bunch of testicles in a dirt field, okay?
On that note, let's take a second to thank our sponsor. Squarespace offers users an easy, flexible solution for anyone looking to create a blog, personal portfolio, or any kind of website. Say, for instance, you want to make a blog about Max's hair. Squarespace will get you up and running and posting pictures in no time.
Yeah.
Don't worry if you come across any questions or issues either, because Squarespace offers every user 24/7 support. So don't feel bad about calling up at 3 a.m. and crying because you forgot how to resize your pictures.
Of my hair.
Of his hair. Squarespace also just pushed a brand new social widget for geolocation services that displays your most recent check-ins from Foursquare, Gowalla, and Facebook Places on a live Google map. Perfect for internet stalking. And did you know that many of the internet's highest traffic web pages are powered by Squarespace, not to mention many of the personal pages of Revision 3 personalities? Check out squarespace.com/Destructoid to get your 2-week free trial and to learn more.
It'd be a great side to be hair in the world is Max Scoville's hair.
You know, I also have pretty nice
Yeah,
hair.
that's great. So, speaking of mapping stuff out on a map, the guys over at Rockstar have a nice little gimmick to promote LA Noir's upcoming release. It's a map of modern-day Los Angeles with an overlay showing the location of a number of crimes committed in 1947. If you click on a crime, you'll bring up an actual LA Times police report from way back when. For example, remember the time a 66-year-old aircraft mechanic was arrested for shooting a random taxi driver in the leg with a homemade gun? The taxi driver was fine, he just had a small bruise. But apparently the aircraft mechanic, he'd only wanted to see if the gun worked. Well, he was charged with assault with a deadly weapon. Of course, you'll be dealing with all different kinds of crimes in the game, not just weird, petty shit. But yeah, LA Noire is jam-packed with crime. It's being shipped on 3 whole Xbox 360 discs, that's a lot of discs.
That is a lot of discs.
Yeah, but Rockstar's Geronimo Barrera assured fans that since the game is built around the concept of progressing through individual cases from desk to desk, players on Xbox will find disc swapping is hassle-free. And I guess we'll have to wait and see about that.
Mm-hmm.
And PlayStation 3 users, meanwhile, only have 1 Blu-ray disc to deal with.
They deserve to win.
Yeah. But while we're still on the topic of LA Noire, Rockstar's teaming up with Verve Records to release a 6-track EP of some jazz standards, given modern-day remixes by folks like DJ Premier and Midnight Sun. If remixes aren't your thing, the game's soundtrack also features some jazzy old-school detective jams and a score by Andrew Hale.
Love me some Gangstar.
I don't know what I told you about the rap music, Tara. It makes you unladylike. Yeah,
that's why I like it. Movie club time, yay!
Movie club time. As you guys might remember, this week's movie club for Destructoid was John Carpenter's The Thing, and your homework was to go on Netflix and watch it and give us your responses. Last episode we showed a response from one gentleman named Max, and since then we've got 2 more videos from guys who are also named Max. First up is YouTube user Max who sent us a video of his cat or something.
Kurt Russell, Flamethrowers, Antarctica, monsters, really great special effects without use of computers. Kurt Russell, I think we're all set here. I think we're ready for the next one.
Next, we've got our good friend Max Rohrig from Destructoid's sister site Flixus, which is actually about movies.
You guys should check that one out.
You should, yeah.
When talking about John Carpenter's horror opus, John Carpenter's The Thing, there's only one thing on my mind, and that's Kurt Russell.
You too!
Better than Clint Eastwood, and better than Peter Weller, Kurt Russell is the man that all men should aspire to be.
So, I guess the general consensus is that guys named Max really like The Thing because it has Kurt Russell and flamethrowers. I probably could have told you that.
Is that a requirement for being named Max or something?
I think it is. It's like a weird thing. I don't know. But yeah, people also like to pretend their pets can talk. Here's a video of Greta, the dog, who didn't like the movie.
First off, I'd like to say I was happy to see some canine friends in the film, although I was greatly disturbed that every single one of them died. Kurt Russell was in it. He had a beard. He ran around. Nobody trusted anybody, and everybody died. Personally, it wasn't the greatest film I've ever seen.
I kind of have to agree with Greta on this one. You know, I thought it was okay. It was okay. I can feel your rage boiling up inside right now.
Shut up, Tara!
It was, okay, here's my deal. It was the kind of movie where it was interesting and suspenseful enough to keep watching it, but it wasn't suspenseful enough to make me think it was good. It kind of dragged on a little bit. I thought it would pick up towards the end.
It's a slow
also,
movie.
the monster was kind of cheesy.
Oh,
I mean, I know it was 1982, but come on. Come on, a little bit cheesy here.
They made that shit out of wax and modeling clay.
Really?
And glue. That's all, you know, that was a low budget movie. That wasn't like not super low budget, but that wasn't like, Empire Strikes Back.
That's my 5 cents.
We're gonna plant that shit in your room and see what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
We're gonna kill your husky and have tentacles shooting out of it and shit.
The dogs in the movie were kind of cute, actually.
I hate women sometimes. Good God.
Next week,
I like the dogs. Kurt Russell's lame. This movie's boring.
Can we make our next movie club The Princess Diaries?
Yes.
I know you've seen that, Max. I know you have opinions on it.
I told you, I downloaded it, but it was subtitled in Polish. And that's why piracy is wrong, because you'll accidentally have The Princess Diaries in Polish, then you have to explain to your girlfriend why that's on the computer.
Wow.
So watch
Netflix
Instant.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and if you like movies, you should check out Flixus.com, where they post
about
movies.
they review
And
movies.
They just
They're like
reviewed Thor,
Destructoid.
which just came out, and I've been meaning to read that. I don't know if it's good, but you should go read that and click on their things, and they write about the movie films.
And when are we going to have people suggest our next movie?
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
Coming soon.
What were your thoughts, Max?
Well, it's one of my favorite movies. I own it on VHS, actually. I own the thing. I think it is a slow movie. I think one thing that was missing was the music, was by Ennio Morricone. How do you fucking say his name? I don't know. But he's the guy who did, like, Archipelago.
Archipelago, yes.
John Carpenter typically does the music for his movies. Like, he did Halloween, he did Big Trouble in Little China, he did Escape from New York, and he's got this great kind of synthesized style. And
I thought the music was pretty good.
It is good. I mean, it's Ennio, but I thought that if he'd done the music, I would have liked it better. I don't know. It's
I don't think it would have saved the film for me.
I think
but...
Keith David is one of my favorite actors. He's that badass black dude who sticks around to the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of unusual that 2 people end up surviving at the end. I figured it would just be Kurt Russell, the lone hero.
Way to blow the end of the movie.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Keith David did the voice of Goliath in the Gargoyles cartoon and Spawn the animated series, and was a creepy guy in Requiem for a Dream. I don't know. Anyway,
okay.
I like the movie. I think it's a good movie. I like Kurt Russell. I like that funny hat. So.
Well, I'm glad I finally got to see it at least. Why don't you guys hop on over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/DTOID show, and suggest some movies for our next week's movie club.
Start thinking about it.
Take it easy, guys. It's Friday.
Peace out.
Take it a little bit too easy.
What's up, Destructoid? I just wanted to say that John Carpenter's The Thing is fucking awesome. It's easily one of the best sci-fi horror movies of the last several decades due to 3 main reasons. First of all, The Thing itself is terrifying both on the psychological level and on the holy shit that thing is fucking ugly level. Unlike those pussy body snatchers, when The Thing gets down to business, it gets down to fucking business. Number 2, flamethrowers. There's a shit ton of flamethrowers in this movie. I'm not sure if this movie is where the phrase kill with fire came from, but I'm pretty sure it is. Number 3, Kurt Russell. He's in it, he's a badass, and he has a great beard in this movie. So, that's it.